Yeah. Let me do it. You wanna talk about it? We gon' talk about it. You wanna talk about it? That Hollywood of the South. We can talk about it. That Hollywood of the South. We can talk about it. That Hollywood of the South. We can talk about it. That Hollywood of the South. Hollywood. Let me do it. WCEG, Hollywood of the South. We can talk about it. That Hollywood of the South. We can talk about it. That Hollywood of the South.
You're listening to the new WCEG Network on WCEGtalkradio.com or watch us live on your smart TV, YouTube at WCEG Network. I'm Wardell Richardson, your show host for the next 2 hours on WCEGwood, the Hollywood of the South. We're the worldwide community empowerment group where we speak life into the community. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and on Instagram at WCEG_talk_radio. That's WCEG_talk_radio. And WCEG Network. That's WCEG Network. Join the conversation. Call in or Skype us at 678-619-1402. That's 678-619-1402. Ask your questions, make your comments, or voice your concerns. Let us hear from you right here at 678-619-1402. Last but not least, the topics and opinions are those of the show hosts and guests and not those of WCEG Network. Thank you for your continued support. Once again, I'm Wardell Richardson, actor, producer, director here in Atlanta. Writer now, because I just wrote my first script. Woo-woo! I'm really excited about that. I'm very, very excited about that. But I'm happy to be here today. I'm sorry running late, everybody. It's all because of me. I got caught in this traffic. It was unbelievable. Dead stop on 400, and I had to make a detour all the way to Marietta just to cut in. So it was kind of crazy. Okay. It was kind of crazy, but I'm here. I'm happy. My two guests is here. You know, I've been looking forward to interviewing these two for a minute, and I'm excited about it. So I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to introduce the lady first. Miss Tenishia Wilson, how you doing?
Thank you, I'm fine.
So I before I get to the next guest, I went to a stage play. First of all, last week, I had the Tillers in the building.
Yes, the Tillers.
Tamika Tiller and Traz Tiller. And if y'all missed that show, it was a crazy show. But one of the stars of their stage play was Tenishia Wilson.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I met her. And man, she had me so full. Because that was my first time seeing her. And she played this Dixie woman during the show and was really calculated, you know. So it was a great stage play, great performance. Her performance was insane. I said, okay, I gotta bring her on the show, and it was real nice. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
No doubt. And the other man sitting next to her, DJames in the building.
You know.
Hey, DJames, man, we did a movie together called Flesh back in the day.
Yeah.
And it's airing right now on Amazon and I think Tubi TV. It is. So you can go and check that out. But man, you know, this dude right here doing some amazing things. I've been watching him for a minute. You know, he good people and he's doing some amazing things in the industry. He's a great actor, so I had to bring him in here. Talk a little bit about what he got going on.
Yes, sir. Long time coming, brother.
all day. So I got two fantastic people in here, and you know, we're gonna start with Tenishia first because you know, Tanisha's new to the game, and you cannot tell if you look at her Instagram. so I want you to give us tell us a little bit about yourself, where you from, how you got to Atlanta if you're not from Atlanta, a little bit about your background.
Okay, so I am originally from Chicago. Mm-hmm. I ended up in Georgia by way of the Army. I joined the Army. I did my 4
What? I remember you got what branch?
Who?
You said what?
You was in the Army.
Yeah, I was in the
Okay.
Army.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I drove trucks for the Army for about 4 years.
Drove trucks?
Yeah, I drove trucks. So I'm little, but I drove hets, which are like the biggest, truck they have. So like the wheel was the front tire was literally the size of my body.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had to jump in and out of the trucks literally. But they were fun to drive.
You felt like you were on top of the world, right?
I did. Can't nobody tell me I can't drive. Like, I'm like, baby, I drove trucks, okay, for the Army. So
And it's usually it's usually those ones, like the short ones that always want to drive the big trucks.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
And I deployed twice. After my second deployment, I was like, that's it. I'm getting out. And did a couple of different career options.
So when did you get out of the military?
I got out in 2007.
Okay.
Yeah. Did a couple of career options, went in and out of school, which is crazy because I hated school coming up. But I stayed in school most of my adult life.
Right.
And then about 2.5 years ago, I just decided I'm going to follow my dream. And I did. And it's been going really well ever since then.
It has, because you are quite interested on social media. Yeah. I didn't even know that you were like that on social media until after I saw you for the first time. And I thought you was amazing in the play.
Thank you.
Screams of Passion.
Yes, Screams of Passion, my first stage production.
That was your first time?
Yes, that was my first time being in a stage play.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I loved it.
Because you booked on how many now?
Right now, for certain, I only have one more, and that's Ruby. Okay. That's Ruby J. Manuel's Suitcase.
Right. Which would be in LA. LA.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Oh,
I'm getting flued out, y'all.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, look, that's what's up. Like, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
So so you up and move here.
Yes.
Now, originally, why did you move here from Chicago?
I was in the Army, so I had no
they
choice.
Moved you here.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. That's what I wasn't sure about.
They said you going to Fort Benning, and I was like, well.
Okay. Okay. And so you got here and just loved Atlanta. Didn't want to go back to Chicago.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I started my family here. Mm-hmm. My husband was not with going to Chicago, and I was looking at him like, Texas definitely ain't it. So it's like we gonna have to make it work here in Georgia. So
all right. But you're in the right place because Atlanta is the place to be right now.
Definitely,
you know what I mean?
Definitely.
For sure. DJames, what's up, man?
What's up, man? What's up?
Well, you busy.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to be relevant. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. You know?
You finally made your move from Savannah.
Yes.
This way. So first of all, let me. I'm jumping ahead. Let's start from the beginning. Where you from?
Wait.
How you get?
Hold on. How much time we got?
2 hours, bro.
Right. My beginning, man, it's crazy. I'm actually from Dayton, Ohio, and Midwest. And man, I never really thought that acting is what I was going to be doing in life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was an athlete, man, all my life. And I did try to, start a couple boy bands and stuff like that or whatever. You know, just try to do some, around the New Edition era. You know what I'm saying? That's what we thought we were. Bell Biv DeVoe, New Edition, all that, right? You know what I'm saying? We would do the dancing moves, singing and all that other stuff. And that's what we did. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was an athlete. And I just knew I played baseball all my life, so I just knew that I was going to be a professional baseball player. I thought I was that good. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like every summer, I would make the All-Star team. In high school, I would make first team, second team, all city and stuff like that or whatever. Right. But I really didn't. For some reason, like my first round of college, I really didn't focus on baseball or whatever. And some other crazy stuff that went on about that. You know what I'm saying? But so went to college and everything, and man, I tried to do acting, right? Okay. My first time when I was in college, I was at West Virginia State University now. Okay. And they were filming a movie, We Are Marshall. So with Matthew McConaughey and Anthony Mackie, the football about the Marshall football team that their plane blew up and stuff like that. Right. So they were filming that movie at that time, and so I got to be an extra. And so I ended up getting called up to be a stand-in and everything. So I got to chat with Anthony Mackie, Matthew, just being able to watch Matthew McConaughey do his thing in his element and stuff like that. I thought that was so cool, man. You know what I'm saying? And those guys were pretty dope. You know, they were pretty cool at the time. You know? And so I was like, man, like, yo, that's what's up. I like this. I didn't want to give it a shot.
Right.
Man, bro, I went back to school that next quarter and I enrolled in the acting class.
Okay.
Did good all throughout the quarter. Come down to the end of the quarter when you had to do 3 to 5 minute monologue. Okay. I bombed. I froze. I was like, you know what? Nah. But so I got an F. Mm-hmm. So I went back to the next quarter because I was like, I got to erase this F or whatever. Right. Got a D that quarter and I was like, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not acting ain't for me. And so, did my undergrad and everything. Then I ended up going to the Army. You know, fellow Army over here. You know what I'm saying? So you got man protection in here.
Soldiers in here. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. So went to the Army my first term or whatever. And actually, man, it's crazy because my first term, the reason why I got out is that I had cancer.
Really?
Yeah, I had stage 3 cancer, man, testicular cancer, but it was in my chest. So you know what I'm saying? Like it was crazy or whatever. So I got out. And all that other stuff, and then a couple months later, Walter Reed, they medically retired me. So Walter Reed found me fit for duty. I was back in school, and they was like, you can come back in, you make a staff sergeant or whatever, and continue on with your career. But I'm like, I'm back in school, I'm gonna do the ROTC thing. So I went and did an officer and became an officer.
Good choice.
So I did that, did another 4.5 years of that, and in the meantime, this is crazy, right? So I was deployed on my second deployment. I was in the gospel choir. And the
man, you done did something.
Bro, I done did some everything, man. Hey, I try to dibble and dabble here and there. You know what I'm saying? But I was in the gospel choir, and
so you can sing.
I wouldn't say all that. I can carry a note. You know what I'm saying? I can blend in maybe a little bit, but as far as singing out, man, I can't do that. You know what I mean? I'm trying to put one band together and all that. We was hey man, who wasn't doo-wopping? You know what I'm saying? Around the New Edition days and the boy, the Bell Biv DeVoe, all this stuff, man. Everybody was trying to do that, So I did that, man, and the gospel choir director, he was a playwright. And he was like, yo, I got this phenomenal play I want to do before we redeploy. And, he made all of us in the choir. We still had to audition and everything. So I auditioned and I got the supporting role. And the lead guy, he ended up going home on leave during his deployment. It was like around the winter time or whatever. Mm-hmm. So he was gone for 21, 22 days. And I was his understudy. So in that time, I developed chemistry with the lead female. And so by the time it was time for him to come back, they were like, okay, what are we going to do? I had learned the song, gospel plays, you got to sing, right? Yeah. Learned the song and everything, right? And so, but the chemistry was just like undeniable, man. Like, and the play is called Where's Your Faith? I think it was on YouTube at one point or whatever. So they ended up switching our 2 roles. Okay. And so throughout the rest of the deployment, everybody was like, yo, you're really good. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, I'm thinking like, y'all just don't know what I was going through. You know what I'm saying? Why I was doing all that crying, all that stuff. Like, y'all don't know what I was going through. You know what I'm saying? So that's how, you know what I'm saying? Really, for real. And so that's how I was able to do what I did or whatever. So redeployed, I was in church and there was a retired lieutenant colonel. She was a playwright as well. So she was having auditions. And I didn't want to go audition to be in the play. I wanted to go sign up for a stagehand. Help her out and all this other stuff, whatever you need, all that. I wanted to do that. Okay. But she was like, I want you to audition. And I was like, oh man, okay, gospel. But when I read the audition, it was like, you need to be a perfect singer, blah, blah, blah. And that's why I wasn't going to audition, because I'm like, yeah, I know what I'm singing like
but
that.
But a lot of times.
In those gospel plays, they want you to go, bro. They want you to you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They don't want you to just be up there. Right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Exactly. They want you to do all that. So I was like, nah, it ain't for me. But I still kind of went over the lines. Because I'm like, you never know. And so when I got there, she was like, yeah, audition. So I did, and I ended up auditioning, got the lead in that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we did the production. The play is called When the Soul of a Woman Cries. And I was a drunken pastor that was stepping out on my family and my wife. You know what I'm saying? And so this guy was going through some stuff. And when it came down to the end of the production, everybody once again, dude, like you're good. Like, what do you act? Are you an actor? I'm like, no, I'm a lieutenant in the Army. Everybody's like, huh? I was like, yeah, I'm a lieutenant in the Army. Like, so you don't act? I'm like, no. So we did the play again, and at this time,
see, also the classes you took paid,
right, as an officer, and that's what it was. See, the first time I tried it, of course, I was new to the stage,
right,
and I knew nothing about, I'm a pretty reclusive guy.
Theater. I tell anybody in this business, start off in theater, because theater is the hardest.
Boy.
If you master theater, TV is a piece of cake. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, theater will tell you the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I tell everybody that. That's why you doing good. You start off in theater. That is the hardest thing to do, because once you hit that stage, it's go. It's no cut.
Right.
There's no starting over.
Right.
Yeah,
but,
man.
You can do all that on TV or movies and stuff, but on stage, once you step foot on that stage, it's a wrap.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to roll with it.
Yeah, and that's why I've heard like a couple times, man, that film and TV actors are lazy actors, because it's just like they learn what they need to learn for that time and that moment, that day, or whatever those sides are gonna be, and that's it. But like as far as the theater actor, man, it's like you got to know your stuff. You got to know whoever it is you having a scene with. You got to know where they coming off at and where it's going.
Right.
Because if they drop a line, it's like if they drop a line, you got to be able. Somebody got to be able to pick that up. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to save that production. Man.
Yeah, that was a lot of pressure. With that being my first, introduction into.
Right. That's why I wanted to ask you about that. But I was
excited because I'm one of those type of people when I want something, I go hard.
Right.
So I'm learning everybody's lines just in case. Y'all never know what's going to happen.
The thing about it, you would never have known that was your first stage play.
Thank you.
Like, you were that good. Like, man, I was sitting there like, who is this girl? Because you had me dying laughing. Like, the way you did the role, you haven't done. Then I went to your page afterwards. I said, there it is. This girl do all types of comedy skits and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. Fam, I'm talking about, 180,000 followers or something like that?
Okay.
Yeah, on IG.
I was like, man, this girl.
Facebook is where it's popping for me, though. So
Facebook is?
Wow, awesome.
Yeah, I got 403,000 followers on Facebook.
Wow.
So that's where it's popping to. Even though I neglect, I'm sorry, Facebook. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know. I be neglecting y'all. I'm trying to build my IG. Y'all came and y'all supported me on Facebook. Now I'm trying to build IG. So I'm sorry, Facebook. Trying to be more active on Facebook.
She gonna apologize on Facebook.
I do, because they be getting mad with me. They be like, she don't never answer comments.
But people funny on social media though. They always feel like they're the top creme de la creme. If they say something to you, you have to respond to them.
Yeah. Well, I'm starting to learn that I can't.
Nope.
I can't. Well, physically, I just really can't because there's a lot of comments.
Right.
And I tried it before. I tried it when all I had was about 3,000 followers. I literally sat there and tried to answer everybody back, and it's just impossible. You look up and you're on just in the comments for hours, neglecting the rest of your life. So I just can't. And then now at this point, it's not fair to my family to just be so involved. It already takes me all day to shoot a video. Then I got to go back and see how it's doing. Then I got to check insights, and then to sit there and have to deal with everybody. I try to answer the first few people I can, and then I got to cut it off.
So how
I drain myself?
So how were you doing the comedy stuff on social media first?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yes.
So technically you were already an actress.
Technically, yeah.
Because you play, how many characters you play now?
I have 9 characters.
9 characters.
Yeah.
Boy, bro, you haven't seen it?
No, I gotta check it out, man. I definitely got it. Yeah,
man, if y'all get a chance, go to her social media, check it out. Like, she plays multitude of people on one little show, like one little skit.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there like, and I asked her, I think I asked you on the phone, I said, so how'd you come up? Do you write the script and everything? And you said for some of you do.
Some of them I do.
That's what I'm sitting here like, you been acting.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just didn't consider it.
Right. I just trying to make people laugh.
You just trying to make people laugh. You're a comedian. So
nice.
And so when did you know or feel like that was your niche?
Well, I've always wanted to do comedy. And I've always wanted to play multiple characters and step outside of, you know, what's normal, because I really am inspired by Eddie Murphy. And, so I knew that that's what I wanted to do when I was a little girl, watching Coming to America. And, my dad let me watch Coming to America. And he told me that the old white Jewish man was Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
And I was looking at my daddy like, no. And he was like, yeah, that's Eddie Murphy. And then at the end, when the credits came up and they showed Eddie Murphy's name next to the old white man, he's like, aha. I was like, that blew my mind. So I was like, okay.
Him and Arsenio Hall played.
They were mainly, you know, the funny characters.
The barbershop scene, they played multiple
That was
people.
all of them. Right. Yeah. So, that just blew my mind. And
so you were just like, I can do that.
Yeah.
So when you got to a point to where you felt like you was ready.
Yes.
So,
I had to get comfortable.
Okay, so you got to give me the process of this now.
Okay.
Because it's pretty interesting, because I'm sure you started off with one character first, right? I did. Yes. And what character was that?
That's Auntie Shady. She barely gets any play now, but that is my heart. The first time I ever did Auntie Shady was 2 years ago, Thanksgiving. I was sitting down preparing, you know, Thanksgiving for my family. And I had just started making a couple little videos right before that. And something just clicked in my head. I was like, man, I miss home. I miss being around my aunts. And I ain't calling y'all shady, in case y'all see this. But I'm just saying, just that whole family feel.
Right.
And I went upstairs, I got inside some auntie attire, and I came down and I just shot a quick 1-minute video, and then she went viral that night.
Wow.
Yeah, she went viral on Facebook. I woke up the next day and I'm looking at the numbers go from 30,000, 40,000, 1 million. I was like, what? And then they just kept wanting Auntie Shady. So for my first year, I was really just doing Auntie Shady, and then I was incorporating the little girl character, Lily.
Which I saw that one today.
Yeah.
You posted a new one with her today.
Yeah, she's one of
that was hilarious.
Crowd's favorites, Lily.
That was hilarious.
When I do that character.
My favorite one is the ghetto chick.
Pam.
Yes.
She's starting to get her shine now.
Pam is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Pam is off the chain.
She's creeping up on everybody.
And the bougie one.
Yeah, Bel-Air Blair.
Oh, she play a whole man. You gotta see this thing.
Everybody likes the female characters, but they all mean something to me because they're all a part of me. But I enjoy playing Dip more than anybody.
Really?
That's the male.
Yeah, the guy. Where you play a guy.
Dude, I enjoy.
See, I believe it's because you like play like a dude. You just want to be a guy. I saw the video where you was. Wasn't it when you was playing video games or something?
Oh yeah, that's Byron.
Okay,
that's the younger guy. See, I get to play an older dude and then a younger guy. There's some more male characters I want to portray, but I gotta let people kind of get used to seeing those two characters first before I just keep throwing the male characters. I think it's really trying to save my mom and my dad. They get tricked out when they see two male characters.
All right, so D, when did you realize? I'm sure you, because you were still kind of infant. People were saying you can do this, man, and you just a lieutenant in the military.
Yeah.
When did you realize that this was for you? Like this was it?
Man. Well. Bro, like I would say my first booking actually, man. No, I ain't gonna say that. It was before my first booking, because like I said, man, you have people, you'll go on set or whatever, because I was doing independents and stuff, and you go on set, people are like, oh man, you have this raw talent, you're good, you're not you're natural, this, that, and the other. You would hear that, all the time, but I was just like, yeah, okay, but I wasn't still really that serious about it, but yeah, man, it was just like I had booked the lead on a couple of independent films, and I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I can do this, because it wasn't necessarily an experience or a moment or a time or a booking or whatever. It's just that I just felt that, because like I felt like it was, like I said, coming back and forth from Atlanta to Savannah to be, a captain in the S4 or whatever, and then coming up here and being on set on the weekends. I felt so alive.
Right.
And so I would go back to work. I would have these same meetings over and over. I would have these same briefings, have these same talks, have these same this same pattern over and over and over, and I would just be sitting there like, okay, all right, yeah, this is cool. That paycheck is really cool. It's I like, you know, but coming up here, I would get to a point to where, man, I would sometimes like with the job that I had, I'm like, I'm a captain. I'm gonna sneak away. I'm gonna go do some extra work. I'm gonna go filming it. I was doing that. So when I was doing that and putting in jeopardy, you know what I'm saying, my Army career at the time, 11 years in as a captain, bound to make, because like all my battles, they done made major and all this other stuff. I'm like, when I was putting that in jeopardy, I realized that acting is what I want to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. You know,
doesn't sound like a level.
Yeah, man. For real. You know, and when I was about to get out, man, all my battles was like, dude, what are you doing? What are you thinking about? Like, do you understand how much money? Yeah, I understand how much money I make. I understand what I'm doing. I understand this. I understand where I could go, or whatever. But I said, you know, a lot of them now are still like, man, I wish I could get out. I want to get out. I'm ready to.
It became your passion. It became your.
I mean, yeah.
Your gift.
Yeah, it started to drive me, man. And I got out. I went to SCAD, got my MFA. You know, graduated in that in 2015. Before I graduated, I booked a recurring role on Shots Fired, or whatever. So I shot that, and then graduated that November. February 16, man, I moved up to Atlanta, and I done hit the ground running, boy.
Yeah, I remember when I hit the ground running. You still like,
yeah, man. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Hey, you've been working, cause you doing did you do Beautiful Scars before, or you?
No. We just actually wrapped Beautiful Scars a couple months ago.
Okay, all right,
or whatever. Yeah. So I mean, and I think, you know, of course that was, you know. And it's going to ultimately be in honor of Princess. You know, a lot of whoever don't know her, a lot of people know her,
right,
or whatever.
Yeah, that was sad that she passed away.
You know, that was my sis, man. That was my dog. You know what I'm saying? Because she did Selfish Desires. You know, like cause I remember that. We were, you know, you and I have been attached to quite a few things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, you know, T's gonna finish it in honor of her. You know, and I think he has some really, really big plans for Beautiful Scars, man, because that movie is gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
I feel like it's Netflix worthy.
Right, right. Yeah, and you know what? I saw some of the actors that's in it, and everybody's real good. Like, you know, I know quite a few people, so I was looking. I was like, okay, you got some good actors in this one.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
that's dope, man.
Yeah,
that's dope. So, Tenishia, you're doing your comedy, making people laugh.
Yes.
Why comedy? Other than making people laugh? Because I mean, people. This is the thing. When you started, you realized you like making people laugh.
Right.
When you do comedy, from what I understand, it's more than just comedy to a comedian.
Yes.
It's what other part of that means the most to you?
It's my comfort zone. It's where I feel safe. Growing up, my dad was in the Army, so we would move around.
So you got a whole Army family.
Yeah, we got a military family.
I got you.
So we would move around a lot, and I'm really kind of introvert. Like, I don't really I get uncomfortable around people I don't know, and I would use jokes to kind of break the ice, you know, to kind of fit in.
Okay, gotcha.
So that just stuck with me, and it's my comfort zone. Like, that's the place where I feel the most. If I can make someone laugh, now I'm comfortable. But if I'm talking and you don't start laughing, then I'm like, ooh, I feel judged, you know, and then I get insecure. So that's just how I break the ice.
So how do you come up with your ideas? Like, how do you come up with the skits that you do?
I just think about everyday life. Like, if you watch my skits, they can be relatable to pretty much anybody. Yeah. So I just think about things that I've either experienced or I've seen, you know, or I've heard about, and then I just try to bring it to life through my characters.
And there are a boatload of characters in the Army.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not hard, you know. Just think about a couple of situations and you got yourself a skit. Yeah.
So both of y'all military. What's been some of the most interesting parts of the military for you? Like, if you could think back to the military, what was the most craziest moment in the military? I always wanted to know that, because I hear a lot of people in the military go through some crazy stuff, especially when they get deployed, things like that. So from each of y'all, what's been the craziest thing you experienced in the military?
That was my craziest thing. War, combat. we deployed. My unit deployed in OIF 1, man, the initial invasion on Iraq. And I was field artillery. I was 13 Fox, and so we were attached to D Troop 10th Cav. So we pretty much spearheaded the brigade all the way up from Kuwait to Baghdad. Mm. And my job as a 13 Fox was to scout the enemy, send the target up to the bombs, the Air Force, and for them to drop bombs and take out these enemy targets. So that was my job. And that was the initial invasion on Iraq.
Boy, you was the man.
So, like I said, and we were out in front of everybody. So, right. So it's like the destruction that we caused, we saw. We saw firsthand. You know what I'm saying? So
when you go through something that detrimental, do you have to, like, when you come back, do they put you in some type of counseling?
Well, you go through that training.
It's just training.
But it's just training. It's nothing in depth or detailed, and you kind of know like what answers to give at that time. To continue on making your money and providing your family and for your career. You know what I'm saying? And so
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. So
both of y'all are out of the military now, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I've been out since 2013.
Okay.
And so so it's just like you have that, but then you still those images and the stuff that you in my sense that we cause, or the stuff that you run into, man, you carry that with you for the rest of your life, bro.
And so because y'all were in the military, I'm sure y'all have like a different opinion or feeling about the government, like the president.
Ooh, Lord.
Things like that.
Let me give you the church finger, bro. I'm not.
I try not to bring, a lot of, but when you have a president like who we have, who just started another war, how does that make y'all feel? Like to hear that, I know you're glad that you out at this point, but how does that make you feel? Like experiencing it and knowing that these young people are going back out there to fight again.
It's devastating to me. It angers me because it's like for some of my friends who are still in the military, I know that they're still I've been on 2 deployments, but I know they've been on more than me, multiple deployments. See, I got out, they stayed in. Right. And they're still trying to deal with everything that that they just got done dealing with. And then here you go, plunging them right back into a situation where I'm pretty sure at this point, anybody who's been a soldier, anybody who's deployed, anxiety is probably like through the roof.
Right. Now, what was your job when you got deployed?
I was an 88 Mike. I drove trucks.
Oh, okay. So you drove it in. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, it could be traumatic, like, I don't like to really revisit a lot because it's just you do a lot of work when you finally are released from the military. You do a lot of work to just try to be normal. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Only because like I know that my battles, they probably have way more traumatic experiences than I did. Because like I said, they've gone on multiple tours. But as far as for me, just not being able to drive over anything in the middle of the street, like swerving literally over a plastic bag, stuff like that, and dealing with anxiety and sleep and all that type of stuff. Those are the things that I think about when a president like the one that's running our country right now goes off and does the things that he does, because you don't realize that these type of things affect people years and years after this will be over with.
Man, and speaking of that, affecting people years and years after it's over with. Like he just came out, with the interview the other day talking about TBIs and how they're not a serious injury or whatever, because of him stating that there were no injuries when what's the guy's name that he went over there and killed?
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. But that counterattack, he said, well, no, there were no injuries, this, that, and the other, whatever. Then now they came back a couple of days later talking about, there were 11 soldiers injured and had to be, medevaced out and all this other stuff. So, and then for him to classify TBI as not a serious injury, like you fight with, brain, brain injuries. Right. Man, there's so much that you fight with, trying to recover or just trying to live day to day with something like that, man. And just, I don't know. It just has no respect for the office. I don't think, what I'm saying? And so, it's kind of annoying, it kind of like, gets under your skin just a little bit, but.
This is always easy for the outsider looking.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it's always easier.
Yeah.
But, knowing that y'all experienced what it was like to be over there, I just had to ask that because I have a son who's in the military right now.
Man.
Yeah.
So, he's, he loves the military, but he don't like being deployed.
Yeah.
He just got back from Afghanistan. I'm sure he's going back,
My brother just joined the Air Force. So I'm like, luckily, they did not deploy him this time, but I'm sure.
They told my son he wasn't going to ever have to go over there.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
They
be lying. A lot of people.
Yeah. You need to drive up an officer. You won't even drive trucks. I'm like, everything they do. And my dad told me, he was like, oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, you driving the truck. My dad was telling me they was lying to me.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
They be lying. Yeah. When my son first told me, I said, really? He said, yeah, they said I won't have to go over there. And the first thing he did, once he got in, he got through basic training. My son, he scored really high on the ASVAB test thing to get in there. So he was in, like, he had to learn all these different languages and stuff. I forgot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he.
So he intelligence is
okay.
So he had to learn all these different languages and do all these different things. And I was like, okay,
Yeah, they was gonna get him.
And so
they need him.
Yeah. They sent him out there to talk to people and stuff. And he can't even tell me like where he be or anything.
Oh,
it's top
he
secret.
intelligence. Yeah, he's
So I'm like, okay. They said when I leave here, I could like be Secret Service and stuff.
That's
like,
good.
I said, okay.
That's what's up,
man.
Okay. Yeah.
Do your thing.
And that's the thing, man. Like a lot of people, feel like the Army's not all bad, man.
No.
It's not. It's just like. In peacetime, man, it's like you got routine, you got structure, but then like you have so much time off, too, and you got all type of 4 days, 3 days.
Yes.
Yeah. And you have
that.
Oh my goodness.
I miss all that paid leave.
What?
Y'all miss certain parts.
Yeah, man. You get to have some of the you get to have some of the best experiences of your life, man. Like you. You never thought you would be driving all them big old trucks and all this stuff that you drive and stuff. So
what did you think you were gonna do when you first got in there?
I thought I was gonna do what the recruiter said. I thought I was gonna be officer's driver.
Okay. Not of what vehicle, but
I didn't know what vehicle it was going to be. But they told me since I was a female, most likely I will not deploy, and that I would be driving an officer. I'd be probably like a personal driver or something like that.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, cool, I could be a taxi. I'm good. And my dad like, no. And I'm like, but you worked in the office though. See, you was a paper pusher. He was telling me what it was. My dad didn't lie. I was over there in them big trucks hopping in and out, and them NCOs could care less how little I was and what sex I was. They was like, hey, soldier, you need to get up there and park that truck straight. I can't do that. I'm like, what am I doing with my weapon?
You had to do the same thing.
Exact same thing.
Yeah, man.
That's where it comes. That's what they say. Hey, women always say, they equal opportunity.
Well, good thing for me, I'm competitive like that.
Right.
So it didn't bother me. It was just, the initial shock of it all. I was just like in a way like your son. It was like as soon as I got done with basic AIT, I came to Fort Benning, and I'm looking like, he was right. I'm not deploying. My unit's already deployed.
Yeah.
And then like 2 months later, they was like, we need the rest of y'all.
Yeah.
I was like, what? But I was ready. I think the hardest thing was just saying bye to my mom, because she actually came to see me off, and I was like, it was breaking her. It was tearing her up.
Right.
And that was probably, I'm glad that I got a chance to see her, but I wish that I didn't, because I never want to see my mom like that.
Do y'all feel like that right now is probably the worst time to be in the military compared to before?
Well, with that $786 million defense budget that they just approved, no, it's not a bad time, because they done got a real big raise right now. You know what I'm saying? But this conflict that we're in, it's not gonna last. I really don't think it's gonna last.
Yeah.
And so when it comes down to possibly being in peacetime and hopefully getting the sitting president out of the office, things will go back to kind of like being normal and stuff like that or whatever. And soldier life will
depends on who we get next.
Yeah.
And then I'd say it's probably a better time because they're paying a little bit more attention to the mental health of the soldiers now. Like, it's a big issue.
Okay.
So there's a lot of policies that's been set in place to help protect the soldier, especially when it's time to transition out of the military, that I know my father, they didn't have, and they're just now receiving those type of benefits. And when I was getting out, those benefits were just getting put into place. So I feel like if you are going to go in, maybe not exactly right this moment, but I feel like it's a bit easier and better for the soldiers.
I go downtown and I feed the homeless and stuff a lot, and probably 70% of the people that are homeless are out of the military.
Yes.
Why do you think that is? Now, that was one guy that I know. He was a friend of mine at the time, and he was living in a storage unit, and I didn't know. I had a house and everything, and he was coming over, and I said, man, I can come over, and hang out with you, bro. So he was like, he always brushed me off, and I didn't know what the reason was, because I was trip about stuff like that. When I found out, I was like, bro, you can't be, because it just happened to slip out, and he was ex-military. And so I said, dude, there's got to be a way for you to, get through. Like, you can't just be out. So he found out that I helped him, but he found out that the government had this special kind of thing where they would house him and everything for like a certain amount of years, but they don't tell people that. At least he didn't know.
Yeah, man. A lot of it is stuff that you have to kind of like research and try and find on your own.
But why would they do that? Why would the military not give that kind of information? Because I mean, if they do, people just because I don't know. I haven't been in the military. I'm going to
be honest with you. When I was transitioning out of the military, I was just trying to hurry up and get out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So when my husband was transitioning out, he was, you have to take, like he said, there's training and there's these courses. And when you're in the Army, you do all these training courses for every time you turn around, you got to go sit in a class. You sit in a class. So if he's anything like I was, he probably was showing up, signing his name on that paper, and then like this in the back of the training, missing all the information. And then when they say, all right, y'all dismiss, you like, good, one more class to go so I can sign this paperwork and get out, and probably missed a lot. Now, I don't want to speak on his situation because I don't know. There's a lot of reasons why a lot of soldiers end up in the situations that they are in.
Right.
Some of it has something to do with maybe something that happened while they were in the military, while they were some of them are no longer allotted certain benefits because they forfeited them on how they were released.
Right.
But, you can never really tell what somebody's situation is going to be when they get out. It's up to you to pick up the pieces once you transition out, and you got to make a life for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Because it just was hard for me to, like, I'm just like, the government I know they just don't.
And they don't just throw you right on the street. And to be honest with you, we're right here in the Southern Regional, where the VA is accessible to you. It's right off of Claremont. So if you are ex-military and you're having trouble, go to the VA. The Southern Regional VA branch is right here off Claremont in Atlanta.
Okay, so that's something good for people to know.
You know, and like she said, man, it's just like upon getting out, just depending upon what you are getting out for. You know, like you said, man, a lot of them soldiers, they don't pay attention. You know, because like they give you a packets full of resources. Yes. You know what I'm saying, that you can call, numbers, websites, everything. You know, go to unemployment. They give you all that. Yes. They do. You know, and you have the paperwork, you know, but like a lot of people when they get out, man, they just do a dump. They do a mental dump of the Army. They do dump all the paperwork, and then now it's not accessible to them, you know, and then some of them don't know how to use computers, so they don't know how to go on to e-benefits and pull up all your paperwork. It's out there, bro. You know, it really is.
There are resources out there.
Yes. You know, I had to give myself props because I did not know both of y'all were I'm like, what? It's always saying when things are in line,
right? God, you know,
there is no stopping. You know what I mean? Everything fits right into place because both of y'all can give insight on that. That's awesome. So in a little bit, we're going to go on break. 5 minutes. In a little bit, we're going to go on break. And when we go on break, I got a specific question I want to ask y'all. Actually, one fun question. The question will be, and this is on acting. If you could play any role, what would be your number one role that you would want to play? And we go. I want to know that, and I want to know because both of y'all, you said that you were an acting coach.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I didn't, because I coached too, but I didn't know that you were until you told me.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
And I want to talk more about other roles for you.
Okay.
And on that, we will be back shortly. In about 10 minutes, we'll be back. We're going to take a little break. And we'll be back with those questions from my guests, DJames and Tenishia Wilson. And look, if y'all, while we on this break, get them your Instagram page.
Oh, you can follow me at _T. She is the _T.
She is the _T. Go check out her Instagram page and look at some of her skits.
Yeah, check them out.
And call in. You know, call us at 678-619-1402. When we come back from the break, we will see you in 10. Peace.